because it's not really opinions. They're willing to not have any opinions on anything else other than feeding narcissism, feeding this career that seems insurmountable, and they adopt these liberal sensibilities and ideologies, and they don't necessarily do it because they thought these things through. I mean, occasionally you got your Mark Ruffalo type characters really all in on a lot of things, but most of them are not. Most of them are just nonsense people.
Joe Rogan has gone to war with woke Hollywood, ripping the movie industry to shreds over its sanctimonious ideals and empty policies. The comedian and podcast titan has had enough of Tinseltown's hypocrisy and the toxic grip it holds over young, impressionable minds. So, he absolutely torched them. This isn't casual commentary. It's a scorched earth takedown. So, smash that subscribe button, and let's dive in.
That think outside of the norm, say it in like whispered, hushed tones. There's a certain ideology that's attached to that city, and it's not logical. It's a kooky, wacky, completely insulated left-wing view of the world, and they enforce it with an iron fist. And if you're not on that team, you don't get booked for things. You don't get picked for things. If you're someone who has conservative leanings, or you talk about, there's projects you're never going to.
And this is absolutely true. Hollywood has built a mold, a rigid, suffocating template, and everyone is expected to squeeze themselves into it. Step outside the lines, refuse to play along, and you're instantly outcast, fed to the wolves without hesitation. To survive in the system, you're required to speak a certain language, believe the approved ideas, and perform the script of woke conformity. The real tragedy is that conservatives are the ones most often ensnared, because their values run headfirst into this ideological wall. Just look at Gina Carano versus Pedro Pascal. Both actors made controversial, arguably spurious comments, but their treatment couldn't have been more different. Carano, the outsider, was publicly humiliated and canceled, while Pascal, who played within Hollywood's ideological herd, walked away untouched. The double standard is glaring, the hypocrisy undeniable, and it proves the mold isn't about fairness. It's about power and control.
Desperately trying to get a recording deal, whatever it is they're desperately trying to do. The last thing they want to do is do something and talk about something that's going to politically get them at odds with the people that run the studios. So no one does. Everybody just follows the same sort of wacky ideology that these people take from the university.
Indeed, plenty of Hollywood insiders secretly despise the narrative being shoved down their throats, but they wouldn't dare say out loud. Why? Because one wrong word could cost them their careers. The culture of fear runs so deep that many are whipped into line, forced to parrot the approved philosophy, and bow before the altar of political correctness. Step out of line, and you're blacklisted faster than you can say canceled. The irony is that even the veterans, people with clout, often stay silent, knowing the mob will come for them next. But the real victims are the newbies. Fresh actors, writers, and crew members looking for their first big break end up swallowing the propaganda whole, afraid that if they don't nod along to every drop of woke nonsense, they'll never work again. Hollywood isn't just making movies anymore. It's manufacturing obedience.
Generally speaking, people come to Hollywood if they have an acting dream. That's the big reason why, right? That's like probably the number one. The way this system works is you go there and then you go into a room like this one. So like maybe we could be the casting directors, and someone would come in and you go, "Hey, Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you move from?" And there's like a smugness to it and a weirdness to it because they have power over you. And they're like, "Well, you know, I'm from New Jersey, but, you know, I've been acting. I did a bunch of plays and blah, 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 and I'm out here trying it out." "Okay, Mark, well, you're going to read for the role of..."
Hollywood executives and producers wield an obscene amount of power, and they know it. They dangle fame like a carrot, then force desperate new actors into humiliating, despicable acts simply for their own twisted pleasure. It's the kind of exploitation that thrives in the shadows, where silence is bought and fear keeps everyone in line. Most of these fresh-faced dreamers walk in with their dignity and sanity intact, full of hope that talent and hard work will be enough. But by the time they've clawed their way through the system, many are left scarred, broken, and carrying a lifetime of emotional trauma. The stories that occasionally leak out are chilling, yet they barely scratch the surface. And it makes you wonder, if this is what we're allowed to hear, what dark, disturbing horrors are still hidden behind those studio doors.
PA will read off a thing. Well, Ted, I don't even know if we can do this, man. It just seems like it's all wrong. You're like, come on, man. We can do it. And so you're in this. I've done this so many times. You're in this like completely non-natural environment. It's usually a conference room in a production office. And you're in this non-natural environment with these smug people that have this massive amount of power.
There's no debate. Hollywood wields enormous power, especially when it comes to shaping ideas and opinions. Politicians know this, which is why they trot out A-list celebrities every election season, hoping their star power can hypnotize the public. It's political theater, plain and simple. Take the last election. Hollywood stars lined up in droves to throw their weight behind Kamala Harris, flashing their rehearsed endorsements like red carpet smiles. And yet, she still lost. Why? Because people are waking up. The public no longer trusts pampered elites who preach morality on camera while cashing million-dollar checks behind the scenes. These stars have sold their consciences for influence and money, and the hypocrisy reeks. Once upon a time, a celebrity's word could sway voters. Now it barely moves a needle. The glitter is fading, and America is starting to see Hollywood for what it really is, a stage built on lies.
Like, please choose me, please choose me. And no, they didn't choose me. And so you're trying to be friends with the people who choose people. You're trying to get them into parties, trying to introduce them to other people. You're trying to be around other famous people.
Getting anxiety.
So this person's been chosen. I got to be around the chosen person. We're going to go to the chosen person's party. Maybe we can get chosen.
Here, Joe Rogan dives into just how tangled the Hollywood web really is. And it's uglier than most people think. Everyone in Tinseltown is clawing for the top. And in that ruthless climb, nothing is off limits. People will do anything, say the right buzzwords, parrot the approved narrative, even push messages that go against basic common sense, all to stay in the club. And the wild part? Half of them don't even believe what they're saying. They'll nod along, clap on cue, and virtue signal their way through interviews. Not because they care, but because it's the only way to keep climbing the ladder. That's the hypocrisy Rogan is calling out. The phoniness of an industry built on image and illusion. In Hollywood, it's not about truth. It's about survival. And the price of admission is selling out your own convictions.
Overwhelming anxiety that fills the city.
Yeah.
And then now you have TikTokers and influencers and all these people that are just trying to do anything to get famous.
Yeah.
And that the reality stars and all that started it all off. And the Real Housewives and all that wacky. That's a storm of anxiety. And just a hurricane of confusion and Zoloft and fucking and everyone's losing their mind and everyone's in therapy and everyone's nuts and everyone's trans. It's out of
the Hollywood net keeps stretching wider and wider, and social media has blown it open even further. Now, it's not just actors clawing for a shot. It's everybody with a phone and a Wi-Fi signal chasing 15 seconds of fame. And in the mad rush to make it, people will humiliate themselves, sell out their dignity, and jump on whatever insane trend promises a sliver of attention. The result? Hollywood has morphed into a cesspool, a dumping ground where every bizarre, unhinged, fame-hungry character gets tossed in by the minute. Instead of talent, we get noise. Instead of creativity, we get desperate stunts. It's less an industry now and more a circus, where the clowns don't even know they're clowns. And the sad truth is, this spectacle is exactly what keeps a machine running, because the wackier it gets, the more eyeballs it draws.
Our mindset of that part of the country is doing things that you think other people will like. Right. Imagine a hellscape of a world where everyone in the business, in one business, everyone is liberal. Yeah. How is that possible? How is that possible? Right. How is it possible when the country is basically divided 50-50? It's not possible.
The reason is simple. Conservatives do exist in Hollywood, but most of the time they're shoved to the sidelines and shut out by the liberal elite. The system isn't built for them, and it shows. They rarely land big, lucrative deals, almost never get the spotlight, and are often pushed into the shadows where their influence is muted. Meanwhile, liberal stars are paraded around with the flashy roles, the red carpet exposure, and the endless press coverage. It creates a lopsided power dynamic where success looks like it only belongs to one side of the political spectrum. And that's exactly why so many up-and-coming actors hungry for fame and fortune gravitate toward the liberal crowd. It's not always about belief. It's about survival. They see where the money and attention flow, and they follow it, even if it means sacrificing their real convictions for Hollywood's approval.
It's not really opinions. They're willing to not have any opinions on anything else other than feeding narcissism, feeding this career that seems insurmountable, and they adopt these liberal sensibilities and ideologies, and they don't necessarily do it because they thought these things through. I mean, occasionally you got your Mark Ruffalo type characters really all in on a lot of things,
right?
But most of them are not.
Right.
Most of them are just nonsense people.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when he branded Hollywood's elite as nonsense people. And honestly, he's spot on. These celebrities will say and do just about anything to stay relevant in an industry that chews people up and spits them out the second they step out of line. Relevance is the currency of Tinseltown. And if that means parroting every trendy woke slogan, then so be it. That's why the Oscars, once a celebration of cinematic excellence, have devolved into a political soapbox. Instead of honoring great films, it's become a stage for virtue signaling, where actors deliver self-congratulatory speeches that sound more like campaign ads and acceptance remarks. The hypocrisy is glaring. Millionaires preaching about injustice while dripping in designer outfits. Rogan's point is clear. Hollywood isn't selling art anymore. It's selling ideology. And the Oscars, they're just an infomercial.
Will get on stage and they'll say, like at the Academy Awards or at the Grammys, they'll talk about, this is what we have to do. We have to make sure that we support this and that. And it's
like that Imagine video where they all sang.
That was perfect.
Oh, it was
Perfect.
so
I'm like, who asked for this?
Perfect.
We never asked you for this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect encapsulation.
At the end of the day, Hollywood has revealed itself for what it truly is, not a dream factory, but a machine of conformity. The industry thrives on image control and obedience. Anyone who dares to think differently, especially conservatives, is shoved aside, blacklisted, or mocked into silence. Meanwhile, the so-called stars who toe the line are rewarded with fame, fortune, and a pedestal to preach from, no matter how shallow or hypocritical their message may be. Joe Rogan is right to call them out as nonsense people, because that's exactly what they become, performers in a circus where relevance depends on parroting the latest woke ideology. And yet, the grip is slipping. The public no longer blindly swallows every word spilling from Hollywood's golden mouths. Viewers see the hypocrisy, the double standards, the manufactured activism that reeks of self-interest. When the Oscars feel more like a political convention than a film celebration, you know the curtain has been pulled back. Hollywood may still wield influence, but its credibility is eroding fast. The truth is simple. People are tired of the act. And once the applause dies down, all that's left is an industry exposed to the hollow stage it really is. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.